Hey rabbits, it's Trixie, and in this video I'm gonna present to you 10 things that even Germans sometimes do wrong when speaking German. For example, many Germans tend to say das macht Sinn, which means that makes sense. But actually there is no literal translation for that makes sense for Germans. We can say das hat Sinn or das ergibt Sinn, which is more like that has sense or that equals sense, but das macht Sinn in German is simply wrong. Here you can see that we love the English language so much that we just take things out of it and try to squeeze it into our own language, even if it doesn't fit. Another thing that Germans sometimes say is zumindestens. Let me explain that a little bit. In German there are two words for at least. There is mindestens and there is zumindest. And some people just love these two words so much that they simply put them together, causing a completely wrong word. I guess that could be the punishment for having a lot of words that mean exactly the same. And then there are Germans getting the words for often and just now wrong. Instead of öfter and eben, they say öfters and ebend.
In diesem Wort sind noch nicht genug Konsonanten.
Speaking about supermarkets, wait, no one spoke about supermarkets. Shh! In Germany there are different supermarkets called Edeka, Aldi, Netto, Penny, whatever, just different brands of supermarkets. When you want to say that you're about to visit one of those supermarkets, you would say ich gehe zu Aldi or zu Edeka or zu insert brand here. However, some people are having fun making a science out of that. They say ich gehe bei Aldi or nach Aldi. But actually the word bei is only used if you're already at the supermarket. And the word nach is only used for countries and cities, for example.
Bei, nach, zu. Ist mir doch egal. Wir haben kein Klopapier mehr. Ich muss auf Aldi.
Many people say that Germans are really smart. But did you know that some Germans even invented a new time tense for their language?
Ey, das hab ich doch gerade gesagt gehabt.
Which would be, that's exactly what I have just said. Had. If you would try to give this time tense a name, it would be like double participle present perfect. And of course it doesn't exist at all. Like French, the German language also has the subjunctive, but many Germans don't know how to use it or don't like to use it, me included. Instead, we like to use the conditional, which is so much easier to form. An example for the subjunctive in German would be indirect speech. Er sagte, er sei ein Goldfisch. He said he was a goldfish. Instead, we tend to say, er sagte, er würde ein Goldfisch sein. He said he would be a goldfish. When Germans want to compare each other, that's the international sign for comparing, then they say something like, ich bin größer als du, which means I am bigger than you. Some people, however, use wie instead of als, saying things like, ich bin klüger wie du, which would then be a paradox. This would basically mean I'm smarter like you. Well, thanks, I guess. That means that we belong to the smarter part of the universe then, like the two of us. Cool? Then there's a phenomenon that doesn't only apply to Germans. When we really like something, we like to refer to it as perfekt, which means perfect. But then out of a sudden, something appears that is even better. But if this is already perfect, what could that be? Well, it is das Perfekteste, which would mean the most perfect. But perfect already means that it's flawless. There is nothing wrong about it. There is no other way something can be better than that. Some Germans also say der einzigste or der optimalste, which would be the onlyest or the most optimal. But the same applies here. There cannot be an onlyest way if the only way didn't work. And there's nothing better than the perfect or the optimal way. I think you got the point. Something that especially foreigners hate about the German language is that we have 3 articles. Maybe it makes you feel better that even Germans sometimes get confused. There's, for example, the word Krake. Normally, words that end with E are feminine in German, but this one is masculine. It's der Krake. If Germans are watching and you don't believe me, look it up, I'm telling the truth. So many Germans would say die Krake, but it would be completely wrong. This stuff gets even more confusing when it comes to brands. Die Nutella? Das Nutella? Der Nutella? Doesn't matter. We already talked about the subjunctive, but there are also many problems with the German genitive. When you want to say my sister's dog in German, it would be either meiner Schwester Hund, which would be a little bit old-fashioned, or der Hund meiner Schwester. Many Germans, though, find that a little bit complicated and prefer to do things like der Hund von meiner Schwester, or even worse, meine Schwester, ihr Hund. Which would basically mean the dog of my sister, where we make a dative out of the genitive to avoid it. Or the other example, my sister, her dog, which is a complete new and, of course, wrong invention. This was my little compilation of things that even Germans do wrong in German. Some of them may be region related and they are more like a dialect than a mistake, and of course, none of them mean that you're stupid if you use them. I just wanted to point out that Germans are also not flawless with their own language. There are always people that are smarter like you or more perfect. I really hope that you had fun with the video. See you in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye!